Hi, welcome to the class on payments and invoicing on behalf of the carrier. With this skill in your arsenal, you can offer it as an additional service to your customers or prove yourself to your employer. Today we'll look at the main payment methods and the invoicing process for each of them. The first payment method is called standard pay. In this case, we send an invoice directly to the broker for a deferred payment. If you choose standard pay, brokers usually pay the invoice within 30 days, or according to the agreed upon period of time. The length of the grace period will be outlined in the contract you fill out when you receive your carrier packet. Most small trucking companies cannot wait that long. They need another way out if they don't have enough capital, especially if they're new to the business. They've already spent a ton of money to buy a truck, trailer, insurance, and so on. Now they have variable costs like gas, repairs, and driver's wages that will not wait for the broker to pay the bill. Standard pay will only work for carriers if they have enough capital to sustain their operation. Bottom line is, many carriers resort to alternative liquidity solutions such as quick pay and factoring. Let's look at quick pay. We already discussed it briefly in previous lessons. This is an accelerated payment program directly from the broker for which he charges an additional commission. Some advantages of quick pay. Your carrier can get paid faster directly from the broker. Brokers charge a low fee for quick pay, typically between 1 to 5% depending on the speed of payment. And this creates enough cash flow to cover variable costs. The money can be deposited into carrier's account within 1 to 7 business days depending on the broker's quick pay program terms. Cons. Not every broker provides the quick pay option. This creates the possibility of getting into a situation where you found a great load with a broker who does not provide quick pay and the carrier needs money urgently. There's a risk that you will have to give up a great opportunity and continue your search just because of that. In some situations, in addition to the basic fee, quick pay may incur additional costs such as surcharge for online check payments, for example via T-check or com-check. In that case, in addition to the percentage that the broker charges, the carrier will have to pay an additional $20, maybe $30 for the services of the payment system. If the transportation company is working with many brokers, tracking all payments takes extra time and usually falls on the shoulders of the dispatcher. Payment terms with each broker could be different. Different commission, different duration of payment. With one broker you will agree on a payment within 1 day for 5% commission and with another 7 days for 2% commission. Each broker has a different system for working with quick pay. Some offer to fill out a quick pay form right away when you fill out the packet. Others ask you to send them a letter of inquiry. The billing process may also be different. Some ask for an invoice to be sent to a separate email. Others ask for a note to write in the email that the carrier will need a quick pay for that particular shipment. Again, this takes extra time for the dispatcher and requires more concentration. And the last payment method is factoring. You already know from previous lessons what factoring companies are and what they do. They buy account receivable from carriers and pay bills upfront for an additional commission. Here are some pros of working with factoring. Quick next day or same day payments by direct deposit. This means no checks, no extra cost. Low commissions for instant payments, usually 2 to 3% of load value. Convenience in invoicing. All invoices are issued through the factoring company. They often have a website or an app, any kind of online account where you can go, check the status of past payments, send invoices for one or more shipments at once. No need to check with brokers, figure out their terms, or send additional requests. One company handles all the paperwork for all the shipments. And factoring companies usually provide additional benefits to their customers, such as discount cards for fuel, tires, and other road services. Cons of working with factoring. Factoring companies usually require an exclusive contract from the carrier. Thus, the carrier won't be able to use factoring services selectively, only on certain shipments. He will have to run all invoices through factoring and pay a commission on every single load. Even though the factoring company pays upfront, the carrier often still bears the risk in the event of non-payment or late payment from the broker. If the brokerage company fails to pay the invoice by the due date, the factoring company can charge the carrier and deduct a portion of the amount from the subsequent payments. Also, if the broker refuses to pay at all, the factoring company will deduct the entire amount of the invoice. And often they do this automatically, which can be quite detrimental to your carrier's financial situation. The exception is companies that provide non-recourse factoring. In this case, the funds paid to the carrier are considered irrevocable and all the risks of non-payment of invoices are borne by the factoring company. Such companies charge higher fees for their services. It's very important for the carrier to carefully read the contract with the factoring company and pay attention to all the details and terms of payment. Next, factoring companies set their own credit limits for each broker. Depending on their methodology for calculating credit limits and their history with the broker, the factoring company may agree or refuse to factor invoices with a particular broker. In some cases, they may agree to factor, but with a small limit. For example, if in 1 month you've taken 4 loads with a certain broker totaling $9,000, and the factoring company has set a credit limit of $10,000, well, in that case, you cannot take any more shipments with the broker over $1,000 until they've paid off 1 or more previous invoices. Each factoring company provides its own system for checking the broker's creditworthiness. Usually, a broker credit check is available to registered carriers on the website of the factoring company.